forearm. You can see. Oof. Hello, welcome for this new video of Monday Q&A time. Let's go! But before, my sponsor of the day, coffee. Okay, first question by Iron Punk. What is your opinion on building a base, first for beginners, especially tendon-wise? Does tendon strength come with time, or are there any tips to have? Also, what do you think on doing a podcast with Alpha Destiny? I think that would be great. Alright, thank you for the question. First thing first, building a base first for beginner, tendon-wise, is actually the same as muscle-wise. If you're a beginner, you're weak as fuck. So anything you're going to do is going to work your muscle, your tendons, your ligaments, and also your bones. Of course, the tendon will take much more time to start to adapt, but if the younger you start training, the more adaptation you will have regardless of tendon strength and conditioning, of course. Same thing for your bones. So as a beginner, you should not bother yourself with this question. Just do as much full range of motion, basic compound exercise that you can. Push up, dips, pull up, chin up, squat, deadlift, bench press, bent over row, barbell curl, military press, and everything will take care of itself. Tendon strength can become a limiting factor when you are using very heavy bondage, and that's where tendon conditioning can come in handy. As a beginner, not your problem at all. And as for the second part, doing a podcast with Alpha Destiny, Alex, that would be a pleasure, but I wouldn't dare to ask him because I am not yet known enough, I am not famous enough, and I would really not have him feel like I'm trying to use him for fame, basically. Also, since he did a podcast with a young guy, a dumbass, retard guy, I think it was Cope Destiny, something like this. He's really more careful with his guests, and I think it's a smart move. So I don't think I'm as YouTube friendly as him, so we'll see. But of course, maybe in a bit, maybe next year, it would be my pleasure. But I'm so small, right now on social media, I wouldn't want to bother him with this, even though I'm pretty sure I can have something pretty useful to say and of course to discuss with him, since we are both advanced lifters. We've been lifting for a while. I follow him for a while. He's been following me too for years, but I just don't want him to be embarrassed about it. Okay, next question. What would you say your worldview is, your working philosophy for life and or religion? Yeah, that's kind of a tough question for a second one, but I will answer it regardless. So, my worldview, I'd say you could call me a pagan or an Odinist, maybe. I do not believe in monotheism. I do not believe in Jesus Christ and Allah and stuff like that. For me, it's not what our ancestors, when we talk about European people, had for culture and a way of life and a way of seeing life, not for centuries, but for eons. So when I see this, Cato Flad based page on Instagram, it's cringy for me, basically. My worldview is that just be a fucking decent human being. There is no paradise, there is no hell, except the life you're living right now. You can have a paradise-like life, you can have a hellish life. You just choose, actually, basically. That's what I believe. And also, I would rather be some kind of weird and strange guy that is worshipping Sky Father and Earth Mother, rather than thinking there is some kind of big daddy in the sky who look like Gandalf, who is going to punish you if you don't have a faithful life, or whatever. And yeah, I don't also think there is 72 virgins that are waiting for you if you do everything your God is telling you to do. So just be decent, Okay, next question. Here. Do you do direct abdominal work? If yes, which exercise? If this is Vinol who is asking. Yes, I do. direct abdominal work. Everything is outlined in my waist training ebook if you want to check it out. It's basic, so it's nothing. Yeah, which exercise? Crunches and vacuum basically. And if you want more detail, as I said, I wrote specifically an ebook for this. So yeah, check this out. Mednados tell me, I'm an Algerian follower. I just wanted to thank you for this quality content. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Just, careful, like slow down the flag, Thank you so much. Okay. Z Kent ask best exercise for upper back. Anything that makes you squeeze your shoulder blade together like this. Simple. You go heavy, you get the flex, you get the stretch. That's it. Don't overthink it. Louis Bonnet ask, it's in French, if you could give yourself 3 tips, your younger self, 15 years ago, what would it be? I'd say I would have told my 12-year-old self to start working out earlier, around 15, 16. I would have told him to start reading about ancient Greek and Roman authors, especially Socrates, Platon, Marcus Aurelius too is good, Epictetus, Epicure, and don't ask your first don't ask your first girlfriend for engagement. Yep, that's what I would do. Next question. Joe Phenomenal asks me, hey, do you recommend training triceps, biceps and forearm on 3 sets? You do whatever you fuck you want. You can do it, I do it sometimes I do not. Do whatever the fuck you want. As long as you're progressing, adding rep, adding weight, it's good, and you have a nice pump also, and it's pretty good to bulletproof your elbow. But if you do forearm, you have to do both the wrist flexor, but also the extensors, so do not forget about them. Paul Ifton asked me, since how long have you been training for? It's in French, sorry. Since how long have I been training for? It's been 10 years I've been training for. And as for the other sport, I have 4 years of athleticism. Basically, it was in school. I was doing 100, 200 meters and a rep. That's why you have your tree, you have a stick, and you give it to someone in front of you, and he has to catch it and sprint. I did 2 years of swimming pool. I was doing free swimming, so basically crawl for 50 meters, and also butterfly, for one you do like this. That was pretty good. And I've been doing 8 years of martial art. It's called Taijitsu. So it's basically brutal self-defense. And I did 1 year of boxing. And I still train boxing when I can. Alexian asks, hey, I'm doing neck extension, but it is impossible for me to go to muscular failure. It is quite normal. Reaching neck failure on neck exercise is basically the same as doing failure on squat and deadlift. Your spine is going to give out way before your muscle. So this is why I always advise higher volume, higher rep work on neck work. It's because you can go to failure. If you go to failure, there is so much risk of you injuring a disc, injuring a vertebrae, pulling a muscle, and other bad thing. It's always better to do like a 5x20 or 4x25 with a manageable weight, and you're just going for the burn and the build-up fatigue rather than you trying to go all out for 2 or 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. The form breakdown is going to be way more dangerous with a weight that is going to be way heavier, so it's just not worth the risk, basically. So it's okay if you do not have muscular failure. You can even go up to 40, 50 reps, and you do like, for example, with the NeckFlex, which is a sponsor of mine, which is the best neck harness to train the neck. Sometimes when I do use a band and I do neck extension, I will do 4 sets of 30 to 50 reps. because I can't go to failure. You can't really go to failure actually, and it's more of a strengthening rather than really building, you know, like hard, straining set for muscle. And if you want to go really hard, the only true safest way would be, after years of conditioning your neck, doing manual resistance. And I've talked about it in an article in my neck training guide. I'll put the link somewhere, and you can check it out. Okay, what else? Xavier asked, "Hi Hersoviac, little organization question. Because of work, I can only train in the morning from 6 to 7:20 a.m. of course, more or less. Theoretically, I could do daily training, but I do PPL, rest, PPL, and repeat. Will it be viable in your opinion, or is it so short that I should do another type of training, like upper lower?" Thank you so much. Thank you for the question, Xavier. I think that if you only have 1 hour of training, you could do upper lower, but it's just that your exercise selection and management, and it depends also of your equipment in your gym, is going to be even more important than if you had, I don't know, two hours of training. So you will have to mitigate and manipulate way more the build-up fatigue. So your rep scheme, is it top set, is it like top set and back off set, is it straight set, is it 2, 3, 4 sets, your rest period too, because the longer you rest, the better you're going to have your performance in the gym, and it's going to be better for hypertrophy. But at the same time, you do not have much time, you're time restricted. So in your case, I would superset, I would do bicep for everything. And in the case, for example, of you deciding to go for upper lower, it is viable, I've already done that. I would be doing like antagonist bicep. So if I do vertical pressing, like military press, I would do chin up. And if I do bench press, I would do some kind of rowing. If I do biceps, I'll do triceps. And if I do lateral delt work, I will do rear delt work. And even maybe doing 3 sets. This way you can even add some pre-ab component in your training and not waste time on the isolation. For example, if you're doing bench press, you're going to work your chest, your shoulder, and your triceps. So if you do some kind of row afterward, it's going to work your upper back. So traps, rhomboid, lats, cervical jaw, and maybe a bit of elbow flexor. But if you do it properly, well, actually you're not going to use much elbow flexor. And if you go really heavy, you will not be able to train efficiently your back without straps, wrist straps. So nothing keeps you from doing bench press, row, and maybe some forearm isolation. Or you do military press, you do chin up, and then you do rotator cuff work, you know, especially your external rotators. For lower body, it could be squat variation with calves work, bicep. It could be deadlift, then again calf work or neck work. This is what I do. You superset back extension or lumbar work with ab work, and if you do leg extension, you go with leg curl and so on and so forth. You know. So you can go like that, and of course, if you need help with your training, you can contact me. I'm a personal trainer. This is my job. This is my life. So you have a link down below in the description. So yeah, don't hesitate to contact me, and we can discuss the detail. But yeah, this is what I would do. Your PPL thing is good, you know, if it's working, do not change a winning team, as we say, ne change pas l'équipe qui gagne in French. And if you prefer upper lower and it's zonable, do it. Just keep the goal, which is to get stronger, add more weight, add more reps, and so on and so forth. Oh, my friend. So Iron Quest ask, Ingrid, est-ce que tu baises? Yeah. Alright, last question of this Q&A. If you like Q&A, please share, subscribe, like, and I will tell you soon where to put your next question. I clicked the name, sorry. So, it's a very long question. I'm 187 centimeters, 98, 95 kilogram, 20% BF. I would approach my situation as a mid-intermediate category with my lifting number. I've been training for 8 years, never ever had a week of training where I ate with calorie deficit. I believe I have a lot of trouble with keeping my consumption reasonable, especially at time with high stressful life. His body is going to cut. So basically the guy is asking, I'm really sorry I picked up your name, but the guy is asking how does he approach a cut when he's overcompensating stress by eating a lot. And this can be a very tricky question. I think I'm going to go with a video that is going to talk about all the TCA yeah, I think it's a good to do video, but basically what I can do is, as you said, indeed, I have been doing bodybuilding competition, so I know sometimes what it is to be hungry, you want to eat and you can't. And one other thing I will allow myself to tell you is that you have to suck it up. There is no other way sometimes. Sometimes you have to just see food as fuel, nothing else. Food is fuel sometimes. Food is actually fuel for us. Food being good is a bonus. Food being great and tasty is a freaking huge bonus. But if your food is bland and no flavor, it's still your food and you will have to eat it. I'm not someone who has this kind of overcompensating personality with food. That's not how I compensate when I'm highly stressed. But when I'm feeling stressed and I want to overcompensate with something else in my life, I just try to have a schedule and a checklist of action to keep me from overcompensating. So for me, as a bodybuilder and personal trainer, what it is? Well, it could be simple. It can be me waking up in the morning, taking my breakfast, working, taking my lunch, working, going to the gym, training, coming home, taking a shower, dinner, working again. And just following the plan. And if I do not want to do it, and if I feel like this urge of, fuck it, I just want to do this or that, when this comes, I will immediately jump on my phone or on my computer to work some more. And this urge is going to get out at some point. And you have to understand that your brain is somewhat of a computer. And there is this program with this pop-up, with coming out sometime when you're highly stressed, and it's like, eat. Well, you want to rewire your brain like a computer, uninstall this program and put something else, basically. It is simple said like that, but it is not easy, of course, and that's why there are personal trainers that are specialized on dysmorphia and diet problem, not because you're a fat fuck or you're skinny shit and you don't know how to eat, but because there is a problem with your relationship with food. I have done this. I have a double degree. I'm both a personal trainer and a sport nutritionist, so of course I've been trained to take care of people who have that. I've already done it. I'm currently doing it still for a few of my trainees, so if you want some help, I can help you, but the only thing a part of me coaching you is me telling you to suck it up, having a better routine where you have less of this urge, and of course try to have a life which is way less stressful, because at the end of the day, if you can suppress the stressors and react better to them, it's still the end goal actually. But yeah, and also dropping 5% body fat from 20 to 15 is not really a cut. It can actually be done by just making better food choice. So less junk food, for example, and not drinking soda, drinking water or coffee. And you being just more active, not necessarily you training more, but you may be doing a bit of cardio, and or you having a higher level of NEAT, which is basically you moving around, but it's not really sport. It's just that you're moving around. You're not taking the elevator, you're taking the stairs, not taking the car, walking. You're doing some gardening or whatever. Just you moving around. It can go really, really, really fast actually. So keep strong and you'll do it pretty fast. 3 months, max, you'll be fine. And yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for everyone that asked questions. As again, thank you for your support, thank you for everyone who is happy to see me back, and I'll keep going, of course. In the meantime, you can check what I have for you in the description bar. You can check my services. I'm a personal trainer, so I can take care of you online, and that's it. Have a good day and a good week. Sorry. Thank you.